Welcome to Up to the Minute. It is Wednesday, June the 3rd, 2020. I'm Todd Duplantis. It is wonderful to have you with us in this morning. You know, yesterday we were talking to our Chief Talent Engagement Officer, and I mentioned something to Janet May is her name, and I just mentioned something to her about being in the 10th week of this remote environment. She corrected me. We're in our 11th week of this environment. Brittany, can you believe it?
Yes, Todd, I can believe it is our 11th week because, as I've said always, it feels like 84 years. But we're here, we're going to get through it, and we're very grateful for everyone who's joining us this morning on Up to the Minute. Be sure to like our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, and don't forget to head over to our YouTube channel, where we have thousands of videos that have been produced by our very own HCCTV. So hit that notification bell so you can be one of the first to find out the latest from HCC.
That's right. We're always looking to gather new subscribers for our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on Facebook, share this video. Make sure everyone gets a chance to see it. We want to get the latest HCC news and information to keep you connected during this time. We've got a great show lined up for you. We're going to be talking about something called the Reading Culture Scholarship 2020, and we have the 2020 award winner join us right now. Afaf Mirza is joining us from her home. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, how are you?
We're great, and we're going to be talking with you more about your award in just a few moments, but right now we've got Dr. Melissa Miller-Waters, the Faculty Director of Educational Policy, English Philosophy, and Communications Instructor. She wears a lot of hats. She's out of HCC Northwest. Dr. Miller-Waters, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, I first want to ask you about this award and tell me about the program itself. What is the Reading Culture Scholarship? And from what I understand, this year focused on Japan.
You're correct. Reading Cultures is a series that we've been doing for several years. It was inspired by a grant that we received several years ago from the NEH. And that grant, the purpose of it was to use the power of the humanities to help us better understand other cultures, other histories, so that we can build some mutual respect across cultures. And we had such a great experience with that grant that what we decided to do was to go ahead and extend it. So since 2014, in the long semesters, fall and spring, we've selected a country and a book, and we focused on it. So for example, we've done Colombia. We read Love in the Time of Cholera. We've done Bosnia, where we read The Unquiet Dead by Ozma Khan. What was really great that time was that the author came and spoke to us with our students. And so we've done Mexico, like Water for Chocolate. And so every fall and spring, we choose a country and a book. And at the end of it, students are invited to compete for scholarships. We have a $1,000 high award and two $500 runner-ups.
And tell me about the enthusiasm of the students being in this program, and what has been their reaction to you and the feedback?
The students have really enjoyed it. We do lots of different events. We have an event that talks about the geography and the culture of the country. We often bring in singers, dancers, experts, people from the country to talk to us a little bit about their experiences. We have had community events. So for example, with Japan, we had events where we learned how to do origami. We had tea ceremonies. We practiced calligraphy. So it's a whole lot of fun for all different types of students.
Were all these activities had, or did you have a chance to do them before the COVID situation, when now that we're all kind of sequestered and working in a virtual world?
We have done many of them. We have had our opening event where we talk about the geography in the books that we might read. We had origami events. We've had a community event where people came in and played Sudoku and did things like that. But once we all went remote, we had our book discussions online. Our students submitted their essays to compete for the scholarship all online. So since then, we've been doing that.
Being an instructor, what's your impression of the first few months that we've been doing this online instruction? I mean, the faculty really had to gear up very quickly to start delivering an education online within a matter of weeks. And I can't say it enough, I don't think the general public realizes that this was a 6-week course to deliver online instruction, and you guys had to work it out really within a couple of weeks.
Our faculty have been amazing, as have our students. I think many of us were put in the situation where we had to, if you were a student, you had to learn 2 things. You had to learn how to work effectively with the technology, and you also had to learn your subject matter. For faculty, they had to figure out how to translate all of the really exciting, active experiences that they have in the classroom and with their students to virtual platforms. It was a heavy lift, and everybody did their very best.
And what's been the feedback from your students with this virtual environment? Have you had mixed feedback, more positive? What has it been like?
It's been very interesting. I have found that students and faculty alike have been very patient with each other as we've all worked to try to navigate the remote work environment. Students have, it's interesting. Students who had been meeting face-to-face before we started doing our COVID mitigation really wanted to continue doing that with their faculty. They would say, we have been meeting at Tuesday at 11, and I still want to meet Tuesday at 11. Some people felt a little bit freed up because they were able to do their work in a way that fit their very hectic schedule, particularly people who have roommates or who have dependents or who are working. So that kind of flexibility has been a really beneficial thing. What we noticed for Reading Cultures was that once we were able to move remote online, we were able to reach and talk to people across the system that we hadn't been able to. When it's face-to-face, and the famous saying is that Houston is an hour away from Houston, it's really hard to get to a particular place to meet. But this has really opened it up and invited a different kind of participation at a different scale.
What do you vision for the future of the Reading Cultures program? What country is coming up next, and how do you see it going? Because it looks like we may be back in the buildings in a few months in a limited basis, but it seems like this online learning, at least for the time being, is going to be here to stay in some shape or form.
Yes, you're right. I think that, so for the fall, we know that we're going to do Syria. And we know that we're going to have a choice of a couple of books. We've chosen a map of salt and stars, and the other text is called "We Crossed a Bridge and It Trembled." What I imagine will happen is that going forward, we will have a mix of face-to-face and virtual activities. Our goal is to make reading culture available to all HCC students. One of the really wonderful things about it is that any student can participate. And we've had scholarship winners from all over. We've had international scholarship winners. We've had scholarship winners who were taking ESOL courses. We've had scholarship winners from a variety of disciplines. So my excitement to expand this program, I hope that we can do it now.
Well, we're going to move on to one of your scholarship winners right now. Thank you, Dr. Melissa Miller-Waters, for joining us. We'll be back with you in a moment. But we've got Afaf Mirza, and she is the scholarship award winner for the spring 2020 semester. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your time here at HCC and where you are in your college career.
Okay, so this fall will be my senior year at HCC. I am currently trying to finish my associates in dental hygiene, and I plan to finish my bachelor's and go to medical school, study medicine to be a physician, hopefully. So that's where I'm at right now.
So you got a few goals ahead of you, I see here.
Yes.
Tell me about this reading program. And here's a personal question, because I'm kind of torn behind this. We live in a digital world. A lot of us read on our cell phones, but I'm an old school guy, and I figure you're just not reading if you're not picking up the book. You got to do a little bit of both. How do you feel about that personally, being that you're a young person?
Honestly, about that, so I do like the physical book. I prefer it rather than the online screening, because personally for me it does bother my eyesight and the straining with the glasses or contacts and things like that. So I do prefer the physical paperback books.
I'm all there with you. I was at a used bookstore just last week, and I went into a bookstore and I said, "Can you get me a copy of Dune?" You know, and the guy's like, "You want what?" And I said, "Dune, Dune." He said, "Oh, okay, I'll go find it for you." So he comes back, he gives me a copy. I didn't look at it. I just said, "Okay, great, put it with the other stuff." I bring it home. The print is so tiny, there's no way I'm going to read this book. I'm going to have to go back to the online version. So I guess digital has its advantages in some ways because you can adjust the size of it. You can't adjust it with those old books, but it's still good to have it in your hand.
Yes, exactly.
So did you do the reading as part of a class, or do you do it on your own? How does that work?
Oh, I've done it on my own every semester. I think since I started at HCC, I've tried to read the books from Reading Culture. I think the first time I saw it was a poster was in the library, and I was just so astounded. I was like, "Oh my God, this is so great! I want to learn about different cultures and things." Right. So I've been trying, but finally, like Miss Miller said, she, once we moved to online, we have more time. A few of us have more time to ourselves. So I was able to find that more time to write that essay and to read that book and put time to the scholarship. And so I really appreciated that what this has given me.
I know you're participating online with classes right now, as all of our students, but where do you normally go to class when you're going to a physical campus?
So my main campus is Katy, but I also kind of branched out to Spring Branch or Stafford, but mostly it is Katy campus.
Okay. You had to, from what I understand, you had to write an essay as part of the scholarship award. Tell us about your essay, what it was titled, and a little bit about what it was, what it entailed.
So my essay, let's see, it was titled Land of the Rising Sun, so kind of, and I don't know, like, so I wanted to kind of respect the title or like the name of Japan and what it means for Japanese. And so for the book was about the tsunami that happened in Japan. And so it just kind of, what I took from the book was that, the importance of teamwork and how a family and unity and how it, coincides with the community. And so I just kind of built on that, on my personal perspectives and how I see America today and how we, how we react to natural disasters such as today with the COVID, and how we're all working together, and the students and teachers, and how we're working for that better future, working together to away from this danger, to if later on to understand how it is at start and how to fix it. And so that's how kind of I addressed the essay and how I what I took from the book.
And what you just described in those last few sentences could be translated into times right now in this country. You take natural disaster and you replace it with the racism that's being protested across the nation. And what you said was very poignant in really what's happening, because it could be summed up to how we all feel. Have you thought of that as to what's going on right now, and what you may have learned from this book as to what's happening in the nation and the world?
Yes. So in the book, there's the black and white, and there's those who are very angry at what's happening right now, and those who don't quite understand, or who follow the rules and not really going outside of their box. And for me, I'm more drawn to those who do not take physical, aggressive action, but do stand for what they believe in. Because at some point in the book, family members who lost other members of their family to the disaster, they took it up with the government, and they tried to stand for what they believed in. And I feel like doing it in that way is more towards to what I believe in.
So, Dr. Miller-Waters, it seems like we can learn a lot from our students, especially with their perspectives from this class as well.
Yes, our students are amazing. Afaf is amazing. Thank goodness we have students and people like this who are going to be leading the rest of us to solve these huge problems, these wicked, challenging problems that we're all getting a very close-up and personal view of right now. One of the things that came out of looking at ghosts of the tsunami was there's this thing called psychic numbing. What neuroscientists have found, and this is a theory that was really spearheaded by a man named Robert J. Lifton. And what we've discovered about our brains, our brains are wonderful, but they can also be quite terrible. That our empathy decreases according to the scale of the tragedy. So if for example, if we see a single story, I'm old enough to remember Baby Jessica stuck in the well, right?
Yeah.
And it riveted us because it was a single story, and we could all connect to it, and we all had empathy. But as the scale goes up, 108,000, dead by COVID, so many people who have been affected by racism or killed in those horrible manners. As the number increases, our ability to empathize and have compassion goes down, which is a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Once we know it, though, we can engage like Afaf with our community, with trying to learn about other cultures, other experiences, so that we can make better choices, and so that we personally can battle against the psychic numbing that happens when our problems get so big.
Boy, you hit the nail on the head right there. Certainly some very inspiring things to think about. Afaf, you certainly make us proud here at HCC. We look forward to following you in your studies and in your career. So let us know how things are going, and we're going to have you on the show once again. Wait, Brittany's doing a timeout, so Brittany's going to need to jump in. Go ahead, Brittany.
Yeah, Todd, we actually have a question on social media from a fan of ours asking, how can I participate in reading culture?
Excellent. You can participate. We have a website that you can go to. It's in our library. So if you just Google HCC reading culture, it'll pop up. And anybody can participate. And we'll be starting in the fall with Syria. And we are so excited to see you there. We also, on that website, if you have ideas about a country or a book that you would like to work on or think about with other people, put that there. We're always looking for suggestions.
Some great advice, and we're going to make sure we get that link, and we will put it in the social media post for this. So if you'd like to take part in reading cultures in the fall, look in the social media post with this show, and we'll have you a direct link. Dr. Melissa Miller-Waters and Afaf Mirza, thank you both for joining us this morning. Afaf, once again, you make us very proud.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. And we are going to move on right now. Chief, I apologize. I didn't get to say hi to you at the beginning of the show. I know we're trying to get you online, but we appreciate you being here because you're mobile today.
Yes, sir, I am. And it's always great to be here. Melissa and Afaf, it's an amazing story. I really appreciate spending time and listening to those guys.
Sure do. And Chief, I wanted to move on this discussion with you as well. I'm going to bring up something here because I started reading this in social media over the weekend, and you have to take conspiracies in social media as you know, they can get spread very easily, and they have to be verified. Well, apparently here in Houston yesterday, the City of Houston Emergency Management and Mayor Turner tweeted out that across the city, they were finding pallets of bricks and rocks being laid out in certain places. They were sending crews out there to pick those up. What is going on here? Because it seems like we have an element of evil that's looking to sabotage, which really was a very peaceful, monumental demonstration yesterday.
Yeah, so Todd, number one is these demonstrations are clearly merited, and we'll talk about what happened and kind of the read on it here as we move on. But what ends up happening in all social demonstrations, and it happened back in the 60s and it's happening again, there are people who are professional demonstrators. Their whole mission in life is to go to these demonstrations, to whip the crowd into an anger frenzy, and then obviously provide the tools to cause the violence. I am so proud of Houston. Yesterday they had 60,000, I think was the estimate, and it was peaceful, and it was a couple of tense moments here and there, but generally speaking, it was a peaceful, meaningful demonstration. And Houston has a good reputation for that. And I'm just really, really proud of our community for being able to pull that off yesterday that way.
You know, one thing about Houston, and I've always noticed this, especially over the last 20 years or so, you can go out to dinner and the person at the table next to you, if you're at a restaurant before the times of COVID, where there were people actually at restaurants, but you could go to dinner and the people at the table next to you could be speaking Spanish. Behind you, they could be speaking Chinese, and then you have Arabic at another table. You've got cultures all around us here in Houston. We're such a diverse city. Do you think that played a role in making yesterday's event so memorable and peaceful?
Well, I think it absolutely did, Todd. You know, Houston has been very, very proud of being a multicultural city, and we've celebrated it for a long, long time. And the bottom line on the thing is, I think the tolerance for other cultures and other people here in the Houston area is significantly greater than it is in other places around the country. And for that reason, we may in fact be the genesis to take the first giant step forward in this whole situation. I hope that's the case. And believe me, we are all open and willing to start moving that thing forward. We've got to make this better.
And I know Brittany had said this. We had a chance yesterday to, we were on Janet May's show, and I know you're going to be on there tomorrow. And one thing Brittany had mentioned, I'll let her say it. What were you talking about yesterday about we all have to be better, Brittany? Maybe you can say that.
We all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different stories, and you know, our struggles are not the same as everyone else's, but we ultimately just need to be better human beings. We need to be better people. We need to respect one another. We need to be kind to one another. We can agree to disagree, and that's okay. I experienced that within my own family for different topics. But at the end of the day, we also need to recognize that while we shouldn't judge people based on their opinions, their backgrounds and what have you, we also still need to realize that a lot of people do struggle because of various reasons. And skin color, for example, is one of those reasons. And so while we need to practice being better human beings and practice respect, we also do need to realize that a lot of groups struggle more than others. But ultimately, and I'll say this until I'm blue in the face, we need to be better human beings.
Yeah, absolutely, Brittany. Very well put. Chief, you know, some things we did see over the weekend, and maybe you can comment on this from a law enforcement perspective. You seem to see two different types of reactions to protesters from a law enforcement perspective. But one of them that really meant a lot, there was this sheriff, and I'm sure maybe you've seen the video that went viral and he's been on some of the news channels. There was a sheriff in Detroit, and the protesters were coming his way. he walked out to address them, and he told them, you know, we're here to support you. We're here with you. I'm taking my helmet off. We're putting our batons down, and we're going to march with you. And it completely turned the situation around, and it was a very touching moment between everyone there. What are your thoughts towards something like that and with this situation?
Well, the fact of the matter, Todd, is what happened in Minneapolis was not even remotely close to professional police work. You and I discussed it briefly last week, and I took the approach to it that I do for most things is let's let the investigation work. Let's learn the facts. I saw the video after we talked last week, and candidly, the video speaks for itself. What you saw in Minneapolis was not professional police work. I, as a police professional, am embarrassed, and I apologize to our community for what they saw. That's not what we're supposed to do, and that's not the way we're supposed to behave. There are a lot of conversations around why and how, and we can have those also. But this sheriff that you talked about who reached out and who said, we're with you, it's absolutely the right approach. Policing is based on a community that's willing to be policed, right? What we're here for is to provide services and to see to it that those who can't defend themselves have someone to stand up for them. The minute that you begin to lose that perspective as a police officer, you really don't belong on the street anymore. Now, there's a lot of reasons why guys get there, and again, we can talk about that. But the reality is we as police administrators need to do a significantly better job of understanding when those officers are under that kind of stress and when that perspective changes. If you ask every recruit in a police recruit class why they're in police work, the answer almost to a man or a woman is, I want to help my community. Most of us come to this profession with our heart in the right place, and what we want are the skills to be able to do that job. When those skills are mistaught or misused, and when your attitude leaves that I'm here to help my community mindset, then you're a broken police officer. And if we can, we need to find out early, and we need to repair that. If we can't repair that, policing probably isn't what you should be doing for a living. Reaching out to that community, as that sheriff did, is exactly what we need right now. And we saw that in the demonstrations last night. And in fact, even on Friday night, when they got a little violent in Houston, there was also a time where a police officer and a demonstrator were hugging each other. The community needs to know we're with them. And quite honestly, we need to know that you're behind us. When I walk down the street and say good morning to someone, and they look at me like they really don't know why the hell I'm talking to them, it's hurtful. And we need to stop that. The better person comment that Brittany has made.
Absolutely. And, you know, it starts with each and every one of us. You know, one thing you mentioned was very important. When you're walking past an officer, a simple wave or a nod or a smile goes a long way.
Well, and it does for us as well, right? So some police are trained that, you know, you've got to control your emotions. Controlling your emotions doesn't mean you have to control your courtesy. You know, reaching out to someone and saying hello. I was driving home from work in a police car the other night, and I saw the coolest BMW I have seen in forever, right? And I pulled up next to the young lady that was driving it at a light, and I rolled down my window, and she looked at me like, what the hell do you want, right? And she rolled down the window, and I said, that is the coolest car I've ever seen. Is it fun to drive? And she flashed the most beautiful smile at me, and we started to talk back and forth while we sat at the light. We have to get past every conversation is going to be a bad one. You know, there's times when a cop rolls down his window to say nice car or good looking hat or whatever it is. And we need to be open to that. And as police, we need to open ourselves and do that more.
I know you're going to be on tomorrow with Dr. Shante Grays on Coffee Talk with Janet May. there have been in social media, and I do believe our students appreciate it when you offer some personal safety tips. During these times, as we move forward over the next few weeks, do you have things that you would like to get out there to let students know on the basic needs and the basic things that would keep them and their families safe at all times, not just during these times, but at all times?
Well, so there's a few things. And the first one is that your First Amendment right to demonstrate is yours, and you have a right to do that. What I'm going to ask you to do is to please do it safely. You know, there's a big concern now nationally that these demonstrations where people are coming together may be a COVID spike, right? And they're going to need to watch that now for a few weeks and see if that actually occurs. Please go to the demonstrations. We want to hear your voice, but do it smart, right? Please wear a mask. Please protect yourself that way. The second part is if you're out and about and you begin to see some of those evil people we talked about first, right? The folks that come to demonstrations to make them violent, you need to disengage. You need to back off, because believe me, those folks are experts at doing that. And what seems to be a really good demonstration that's achieving something can turn into chaos in a New York second. And getting hurt in these things is not what any of us are here for. With some of the other things going on, you know, we've talked a lot about please protect your cars, make sure you're not leaving things of value in them. Burglaries of businesses were up, but now the businesses are opening. That's kind of coming a little bit back into control. So that's kind of where we're at, I think, unless there's something specific.
No, that's you hit the nail on the head there, Chief. We appreciate you joining us this morning. I know you're busy, and we appreciate you taking the time on this Wednesday. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Well, Todd, thanks so much. And for faculty and staff, I think those coffee breaks are specifically faculty and staff, but there's also a little bit more time for interaction and questions, and I'm really looking forward to doing that tomorrow. For the audience in general, we're also talking about doing some town hall meetings. They'll probably be electronic like this, but there'll be meetings that are set up so that folks can ask specific questions and we can have a better exchange of information back and forth. And we'll be announcing those very, very shortly.
Well, feel free to reach out to us here at HCCTV and let us know how we can help you with those.
Absolutely, Todd. Thank you guys so much. Brittany, great to see you again. I'm a real fan of your Be a Better Human. Sign me up on that team, okay?
Thanks, Chief. We appreciate it.
All right. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye now.
Good. Bye-bye. Good. Well, good morning again, Brittany. I want to let our viewers know we're running a little bit long this morning, and we're going to keep going. So we've got some announcements we want to get in, but we had some subjects we wanted to make sure we got covered on the show. If you can bear with us, we're going to run a little bit long this morning. So, Brittany, let's get into the events and announcements portion of the show. And HCC Southeast has been the location of a COVID testing site. That's been extended through this week, and now I'm hearing another college location has been opened as well.
That is correct, Todd. So we just found out that Northeast over on 555 Community College Drive is also hosting a testing site for COVID. Now, this is a little bit different from the Southeast because you actually do need an appointment in order to go to the Northeast location to be tested. So all that information can be found across our social media pages. It just went up on our Facebook page, on Twitter and Instagram. All that information is there. It's happening starting today all the way through June 6th, which is Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, appointment is required if you are looking to go to the Northeast campus. Now with Southeast, this is free, just like the Northeast, but you do not need an appointment. So let's just, hopefully you all don't get confused on this. We'll throw up those graphics all on social media, make sure you have the right information for the right location. But I think it's great that HCC is still continuing to host these COVID-19 testing sites for our community.
Now, just moving on, we've got a Lunch and Learn webinar, Balance Work and Life in the Remote Work World. That's today at 11:30 a.m. That's not too far from now.
It's not. It's all about balance, Todd. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to participate since we're working from home. Find that balance. Be sure to check your HCC emails for the registration and the website.
Virtual information sessions Sessions. There we
Say
go.
it with me. Sessions.
Sessions. Okay, there we go. Virtual information sessions. Enrollment Services is offering help on a weekly basis through August, and they're doing this virtually. You can talk about admission applications, testing, new student orientation, advising, financial aid, choosing a program or major, and your questions. You can register today at hccs.edu/information sessions. Brittany.
You said it, Todd. Good job. But let's talk another very important initiative HCC is taking part in with jobsnowhouston.org. Houston has lost about 1.5 million jobs, but HCC has launched a program to help Houston's workforce train and to fill 500,000 of those jobs lost in these really high demand fields. Healthcare, logistics, manufacturing, IT, construction. You can head over to jobsnowhouston.org for information. Now, this is not a hiring site for HCC. Let's just, make that clear. HCC is going to help you with the training to get jobs in Houston in the 5 areas that I just mentioned. So again, head over to jobsnowhouston.org for more information.
One of the more popular programs we offer here at HCC, it's the Change Your Life for $20 promotion. That's through the Adult High School and the Career for You Academy. You can check out HCC's programs through the Adult Education and Literacy Department. Change Your Life for $20. It's true. It's just $20. You get signed up. That pays for your tuition. Registration opens on Monday, June the 8th. So that's just right around the corner. You must meet some requirements, but you can find it all by going to hccs.edu/changemylife. And Brittany, registration is going on for the summer, what we have left of it, and the fall.
That's right. So summer registration, as you said, is underway. Summer classes begin June 8th, which is next Monday. So do not sit and think, I can wait until the last minute. No. Those classes can go really quickly. So head over to hccs.edu/now to register for summer classes, which will be 100% online. Fall classes you can still register for, but those classes are to be determined at this time. We will have an announcement to make once the college has decided how we're going to proceed with these classes again in the fall. So again, head over to hccs.edu/now to register for your classes.
You can also get all your questions answered by visiting our virtual lobby, which is on our homepage. Literally go to the homepage. Where do they click, Brittany?
Green bar at the very top or blue button at the very bottom. It says virtual lobby. If you have any questions that you need specifically answered that cater to your specific case, that's a great resource available to our students. And also, if you're interested in finding out what the other departments are doing amid COVID, you can head over to hccs.edu/COVID-19 students.
Tomorrow on the show is Thursday, and we have Dr. Cheryl Peters. She's the Executive Director of the Honors and Weekend College. She'll be here to fill us in with those 2 programs and how they've been working remotely. And Brittany, you'll be excited about this. You like the Smithsonian? Have you ever been there?
I actually have been to the Smithsonian. I actually have.
Dr. Melissa Miller-Waters, have you been to the Smithsonian yourself?
I have. It's pretty.
It's a great museum. Afaf, have you been there?
No.
Not okay. Well, tune in tomorrow because we've got our virtual Family Fun Day series. All the museums have been going online since COVID hit, and you could go behind the scenes of the museum, and we will have on a representative from the Smithsonian National Museum. That's going to be wonderful to see. We'll have them on tomorrow as well. That wraps it up for today's show. And up to the minute, I want to thank our guests. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Absolutely. And Brittany, thanks for being here. We will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m.